Hello friends, and welcome to our channel. Today, we are going to talk about a project that stunned the world. A city that would be 170 kilometers long, entirely made of glass, where there would be no cars, and where 9 million people would live. Yes, you heard that right? A straight, gleaming, glass wall slicing through the desert and rising towards the sky, the Line. When Saudi Arabia unveiled the Line under Vision 2030, it seemed like a vision of the future. Architects, engineers, and dreamers worldwide were in awe. It seemed like the most modern city in the world was about to be built. But friends, today's reports tell a different story. Has this dream now become an expensive burden? Will the Line ever be completed? Was it just a showpiece, or truly the path of the future? Today, we will investigate the truth behind this elusive city, which is rapidly turning into a major question mark. Stay tuned, because the truth hidden beneath this structure of the future will surprise you. The Grand Vision. A 170-kilometer mirror. First, let's talk about the core concept of the Line. The Line, which is part of the Neom City, is the dream project of Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. It is envisioned as two parallel walls, 170 kilometers long, 200 meters wide, and 500 meters high. Imagine a city where everything is within walking distance. No cars, no pollution. Superfast trains would take you from one end of the city to the other in just 20 minutes. Its outer surface would be completely mirrored, allowing it to blend into the surrounding environment. Inside, it would be a vertical city where homes, schools, offices, parks, everything would be built in layers. This model promises to be zero carbon, which seemed like a revolution for the environment. But translating such a massive ambition into reality is never easy, especially when you are trying to beat deadlines and budgets. Construction slowdown. The pace is slowing down. When a project is this colossal, monitoring its pace is crucial. Recent reports, such as those from Bloomberg and other major news agencies, suggest that the construction pace of the Line is no longer what it used to be. The initial enthusiasm and speed have now slowed down. The main reason behind this is the impossible timelines. The goal of housing 9 million people in a structure that is still just solidifying its foundation on the ground puts immense pressure on the authorities. Reports indicate that Saudi officials have recently significantly scaled back their targets. Where the goal was to house 1.5 million people by 2030, perhaps only a few 100,000 will be feasible by 2030, and that too, if construction speeds up suddenly. This indicates that the blueprint prepared initially overlooked ground realities. Financial black hole. The trillion-dollar burden. The cost of the Line? Your jaw will drop when you hear it. The initial estimated cost was in the billions of dollars, but now this project has ballooned into trillions of dollars. This is not just a city. It demands spending equivalent to the GDP of a small country. There are several reasons behind this huge cost. First, unprecedented engineering challenges. How to manage such a tall glass structure with the desert's temperature and geological stability is a complex science in itself. Second, the demand for materials. The steel, concrete, and specially prepared mirroring material needed to build a 170-kilometer-long wall, managing its supply chain and keeping its cost under control is proving almost impossible. Concerns are rising among investors and even within the Saudi government about whether taking such a financial risk is wise. Engineering nightmares. Rushed design. This project was under the pressure of a fast-track design process. It is said that the design phase was rushed, leading to insufficient attention to fundamental engineering challenges. One of the biggest challenges is the practical aspect of vertical living. How dependent would residents on the upper levels be on elevators and escalators to reach the lower levels? How would natural light and airflow be maintained, especially in a 500-meter-high structure? Furthermore, emergency response is a major question. In case of a fire or any other emergency, how would millions of people be safely evacuated from such a large and narrow structure? These are questions that were easy to answer on paper but have become an engineering nightmare to solve on the ground. Livability crisis. Would people really want to live there? A city of the future is not just about technology. It's about being livable. The very concept of the line seems slightly removed from human needs for living. Can 9 million people truly be happy living in a box-like structure? Will they have access to the open skies, vast spaces, and open areas that humans naturally require? Even if artificial parks and greenery are created inside the line, whether living in a massive artificial environment will be as fulfilling as living in a natural one is a big psychological question. People will have to rely on vertical transport for hours for their daily commutes. This could create an environment that looks cutting edge but is suffocating from a human perspective. Environmental fallout. A heavy price on nature. The line was touted as eco-friendly, but its construction itself has caused severe damage to the environment. The biggest impact has been on the local ecosystem. A 170-kilometer-long, 500-meter-high wall will completely disrupt desert temperatures, wind patterns, and wildlife migration routes. Reports suggest that bird flight paths are being severely affected. The massive amount of energy and resources consumed during its construction has brought its zero-carbon claim into question right from the initial stages. Large-scale mining and land excavation for its construction are having a permanent impact on the region's biodiversity. Forced displacement. The pain of local communities. A dark reality of any massive government project is often human displacement. Local tribal communities like the Huetat, who stood in the way of the line, have been forcibly removed from their homes and lands. These communities claim they have not received fair compensation and that their centuries-old way of life has been endangered. Experts and human rights organizations have expressed concern that the rights of current residents are being violated to build a fantastic city of the future. This project, which aims to symbolize the future of humanity, has become a present-day sorrow for some of its own citizens. The monument to ambition. Will the line ever be completed? So the question is, was the line just an overly ambitious vision that was impossible to implement on the harsh ground of reality? Looking at the current situation, experts are saying just that. Engineering hurdles, soaring costs, and constant delays in deadlines suggest that the line, as presented as a 170-kilometer structure housing 9 million people, may never be completed. It is possible that a small part of it, perhaps a few kilometers, might be built as a model city to save the prestige of Vision 2030, but a full 170-kilometer glass wall. That seems like a distant dream for now. This project is now on the verge of becoming a monument to unchecked ambition rather than an engineering achievement. It is a powerful lesson that even if you have unlimited resources, the laws of nature and the limits of engineering always prevail. Conclusion: a warning on the path to the future. Friends, The Line was a captivating story, a story where technology had solved every problem. But today, we see how crucial it is to respect the laws of physics, human aspects, and common sense, alongside technology. The journey of the line shows us that when building the future, we should not just dream of touching the sky, but also face reality standing on the ground. Will Saudi Arabia be able to salvage this project? Or will it be recorded in history as an expensive failure? That remains to be seen. What do you think about the line? Was it an attempt to make the impossible possible? Or a grand facade? Let us know in the comments section. If you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. And until then, keep questioning the future. Thank you.